All right, guys. We'll give the shout out to these people here at the channel, and well, that's the title of it. Now, in this video, I'm going to let you extrapolate that we're going to be looking at a concrete sidewalk, and they're going to show a bullet, but I wanted to show you the forces that are taking place. The concrete they're going through, let's consider that the sidewalk, and this would be, of course, soil backed. But without the soil backing, because it's a block wall, you're going to be able to see the pressure that's created on the concrete and how it would all that will create the cone you're going to see in the hole. Now let's I'm trying to figure out how to cancel this audio. I'm doing narrations. We don't need to hear them, so hold on. So the impact is happening now. So I want you to imagine the plane impacting the concrete surface first. On the underside of the concrete, you see it mushrooming out. And remember, there's soil here. So it's going to create a zone, something like that. And that's all soil. And that's that pressure I talk about that's going to push away. In this case, we're going to get fracturing in the concrete. It acts like a wedge also. So a wedge, the bullet's acting as a wedge coming in here, and it's going to split here. And splitting there, it's going to create a rotation this way. And that rotation creates a fracture here, and then slowly breaks up like that. Interesting enough, we don't get too much fracturing. The same down the bottom because it's less of a cantilever. Let's go with play. You know what? I can actually slow his video down. So let's do that. Let's slow that down for reasons that we can. And so there we go. So now you see how part of it, remember we have the jet ejecting across the street part of the particles and parts of the plane. And so we get some coming this way. And now this is that force. You can imagine a concrete force, and it's displacing that soil there. Some of it's getting compacted, but some of it's pushing up, and then we get the lifting of the concrete, the sidewalk. All right, looks like that fracture developed here on this one. And that's the force. And if ultimately you do run into enough that gives you equilibrium and it can't go any further, and then this will be your rotation of your concrete going up. So that's let me back it up again for you. And let's see, right about there maybe. Well, let's do that. Let me pause it and come back to it. Okay, so let's watch it go again. This will be your plane coming in on the right there. And hitting the sidewalk. And so part of it, as you see, yeah, high speed, you're going to get some buckling already. But then the energy's still going to go in there. You can see how it would break your sidewalk and punch it through and cause your pulverizing of the concrete initially. And that's that cone I've talked about, that pressure cone that's created with the impact. And we know it goes down whatever. Laterally, it might go down 8 feet, but depth-wise is not. So this way, laterally, you might be able to consider the sidewalk break here, and then in. I don't think so. You would have to simply measure where the impact was, and here, and now you have your angle also. So we know where our bottom is, our black box. We can use that as a line of angle of attack, angle of incidence. There's a black box. Here's our sign up here. Here's our wing, and we know that would be the wing here, the outer part of the wing. Impact. Okay, so let me do the plane again. So, there's the line of attack on it. Let's clean that up a bit. So there we go. Let's do this. That's our sidewalk surface here. Sidewalk breaking here. Our sign up here, I think, is our impact part. And we got a clean line down to here. We do a clean line down to here. Black box. We confirm that with the wing, approximately the wing impact. And now you have your data. You have data points to tell you the angle of attack angle of incidence in this case. And as it comes in, as you see the burst in the background, that burst in the background would have been like that, penetrating down. So it helps you visualize how what's going on here. But now we have the engines ×2. And let me get you a couple of new photographs if this thing doesn't stop recording. So we're going to give a shout out to this person. Here's his channel here. Called himself the Philly Captain. Shout out to him. These are screenshots and narration. So I had one screenshot to make sure to grab his name to give him a shout out. I'm leaving this one as a breadcrumb for you. Well, no, that's actually not it's partial breadcrumb. More breadcrumb is the, okay, this is the location. Let's just work on this for a second. Give me a second. All right, I'm queued up. So this is Channel 10 shout out up top. The medic that was there took a photograph when he was loading it up. Not the medic that died, but the medic that dropped off the kid that did the transfer. This is our door that we see on the ground, okay? Remember, we have the door on the ground. There's a jet rescue. And my boy Georgie needs to go out the room. Georgie wants to leave, so let me help him out. Go ahead, Georgie. So that's our door, and that's that piece of fuselage we see on the ground. Sorry, George, hold on. There we go. So now, let's bring this on in. So this is the section that we see, like that. And I believe at the very top of one of those sections, we even pick off, I believe, which is an antenna. All right, and we go to next one. There's a photograph the news put here in this Channel 10 news. I do not think it's the same flight airplane, because our seats are different. We got a white seat that appears to be the airplane seat that's on the ground. I don't believe it's this one, but I think they might be taking some, artistic liberty. All right, back to this one. I had another close-up. We now able to distinguish that we can find writing and there. So writing would be important above that window. If we can see on the other side, we'd be able to affirm it, but the door sort of affirms it, doesn't it? Let's go to the next one. For the piece that's on the ground, let's call it, quote, the sign that I quoted, what I stated in the very first video. There it is there, and it's approximately like that. It's left. Let's see, the maybe it's got that dash mark in there too, the hyphen. Let's get rid of it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's like that. That's your motor. Came down, exit to the left. All right, it matters what part of that we're looking at because it's narrower here and wider here. So the other side too, it would be the inverse reading of it. When you go to read it, it would look like the inverse of that. Considering it's not a panel. See, look, it might be a panel. All right, so we have the XAUCI. We have, I think we did see some of this on the ground. And some of this also on the ground, the tail. All right, let's go to the next one. I just took more shots of it. And there's the front. So this is your front of your bullet, albeit soft, all right? Into the ground, driving into the ground, high speed and breaking up, of course. And what I just showed you. Now, this is a mix because it's going to be that guy. It's going to be three contents, CBS and maybe others, but let's go from there. Excuse me. Okay, so much for that. Now, I was going to go there tomorrow, Saturday, for you, but they're closing this off. And if it was there, I'd be able to get the contractor to let me in, and I'd be able to do this angle for you and also the distances. I'll be able to do that when they clear out anyway. I don't actually need to be down there. They're putting back stone as a base, and I don't see any tamper there, so that's weird. That compacting the stone. It's not weird. It's wrong. It should be compacted as they bring it back up in lifts. Now they got rid of that soil that's contaminated, I believe, and maybe that's even in the background. Maybe it's in here. It's a long hump to it. Maybe you bring it out, and then the little skid steer drags it on the back. But it's pretty clear here. They dump stone here. This is what it looks like when you dump stone and you stockpile it and then push it over. So this guy pushed it over, and now he's standing on the stone. He's on the stone. maybe to protect the asphalt from breaking up. Oh, there we go. Correction. There's your tamper. There's your tamper. Plate tamper. So as long as you can do it in small enough lifts, you'll be okay. Note that this sign has been that I think they removed the metal now. And down here, this is still here. This part here is still there. The sidewalk. Remember I said it's a new sidewalk for handicap ramps. That's that luggards, the warning, the indicators, the warning. It's another name for it. Oh, my brain's frozen now. But it will give when you have a cane, it would tell you you're coming at the edge of a sidewalk. And there's one there, and there should be one opposing, which would be here. And there's that one. It looks like an elevation change. It doesn't need it there, though. It doesn't need it there. Let me think about that. It's not needed. You're not exiting the street yet. But interesting enough, exiting street, it must be there. Not it should be. It must. There's the angle. That angle like that indicates that that's the taper down for wheelchairs. There should be another one maybe over here underneath there, and that's pretty significantly wide. But it must be there, and it's not there. So that's a license inspection issue for letting that get by. It does look like the crosswalk. It doesn't look like the crosswalk either. And I have to think about, is there a light there? Is there a light there? You don't want to cross in that traffic. Is there a light there? I mean, I'm going to have to retract that. I'm going to need to see that, go back out there and look again. I know there's a street there. It's parallel to a street. But I don't know if it's a light there. Yeah, there is a light there. All right. They put the sign back, incidentally, also, the pole that I talk about. So now this is all new sidewalk. I've gone over this in another video that I didn't post. New sidewalk. This was the old parking lot here, and then they're doing this laying in infrastructure for a new commercial properties. Infrastructure would be the plumbing utilities. Okay, so now there's a different view, top view, down. Excuse me. Okay, so I do have a huge thing. This should be a crosswalk. It should have had some form of a notification that the person is going across a crosswalk here and here. And I don't think they were installed. I run into this a lot on jobs, that's so that should fail on its own for that reason. Now let's look at this. So they're backfilling, and they're using a good base, a compactable base, and that would be a consolidating dip base. That would be the stone. All right, so the person, well, this is CBS still. I thought it was the other person. I thought this was a hill, and it is a hill. They're on a little bit of a hill. There's a property. We don't see I don't observe anything that would look like an impact from a flying engine. There's a close-up shot of it. And this is going to be boarded up in your next images. So this is now what it looks like now. The fire department might have pulled that in. Let's go. That's the one right across the street. All right, so this is showing it's wrapped up. It's got the protection to close it up for the night. And there's your company doing it. First call, something, I don't know, responders. Looks like a news van in the background, perhaps. Let's go here. Here's our signage. You can see they moved the top off. All right, let's go here. Oh, and there's in the background, there's our house boarded up. There's our house boarded up. Looks like they put a new stop sign up, or maybe that stop sign wasn't affected. It's coming from this traffic from here. And at this point, also, you notice that they took away the faux base. It's not really a base, it's just decorative. It's gone. They took it out. And let's move on. And here's it zoomed in. And now we see that we have the handicap section, but this part of the concrete that is removed. This is where I believe that the wing came down and was able to fracture that concrete and include impacting the soil. the dirt. There's your rental, United Rentals, whatever company is renting to them. They put out the big boy for this. Little lot overkill, but I guess that's what they can get. This is showing the sign with its mitt. They took the top off. You also see it's not impacted. So addressing the person, it said it came from the ground and came up and did that. Not impacted. Okay. And as you can see, as I said in the previous video, if it came there and hit that top where you'd have a Macy's sign, it's also been impacted, but it's not true. Here's a shot inside of there, and there's the house in the background. This is now they got the soil up. Very data. Shit, hold on. So here we go. So very data needed. This is going to be existing unless they pave over top of it. That gives us triangulation. This sidewalk maybe indicator, crosswalk indicator. Anyway, it's something to remember. It seems like it lines up with the street, across the street there. So hopefully it'll still be there when I get there, which might be. I might go up there tomorrow just to look at it for you. Again, this is a shout out to the person that recorded it, but I did a little better, did a little editing with this video. So that's our edge, and now it's filled up. You know, now it's not a safety hazard. You don't have to about mortar getting down in there, but they still have to take this out, take out quite a few inches, and put concrete into it. That sign. Hold on. So here's our sign, and they removed the base. All right, the base is gone, but they added this stone, as you can see, to fill in that where the plane wing, I believe, impacted the ground. All right, so looks like it put back a pole also. Okay, here we go. So there to your left is here. This would be where the wing impact is, where I said it was, where it would help find out where we are. It's actually a for the cars to stop. That's your white line, and I believe the stop sign was here. So this white line, we'll be able to triangulate where it is. We'll see it's off of this line, off of this curb. That's a curb. Interesting. I don't know if they saw cut that or not, but that would be great if I get there, because they didn't cover it, and we'll be able to indicate where it was impacted against there, against that curb. And there we go again. And there's a sidewalk that's apparently been knife struck, if you will, also. All of this. And we're going to get to my clues here now. So one of my clues is this. This tire is one of my Columbo clues for you guys when you search the internet. Now I'm being a little tricky. I should be a little more, give you a better one. It's the other tire that it's the other tire you're going to be looking for. And it's going to relate to, all right, so let's go to the street. I'll show you what, you know what, let me stay there now. It's going to relate to white, like that. And I'll give you another hint. It's going to relate to the door, where the door is for the party, where they entered. Well, I showed in the beginning the fuselage area. Now this is the way the handicap when it looks, right? It goes down, across, back up. This is a pitch, 1% pitch, 2% pitch. All right, this is where they built. So to your left, there's our sign. Now it's put back in. I'd love to see that. Here's our structure was impacted. Well, it had the fireball thrown at it. All right, so there's the van still there. So here's the van, still in position days later. It had, remember, by the tire, it had a white something by the tire. I don't know what it was, concrete or not. The sign was on the lawn. If you remember the sign that I showed you, had a deflection there. They did a hell of a job of having one of these handy. I'll tell you that. Did a hell of a job. I just took these. I'm just stopping. I'm just letting you look at them, pause them, and you could see the heat. The heat did flake the brick a bit, spoil it a bit. Not the mortar as much. And do you notice the hot spot there? How it was clean burning, and this was the soot. But this was the clean burning, so this is going to be our major source against the wall. It did have a significant overhang. Oh, that's important. So there's a camera here. Let me back up. There's another camera hiding out on us. I saw a glimpse of it. So a note to self. There we go. Over here, there's a camera on this wall right here. So there's a camera. These, if that should have, there's a camera or a light. Now I'll look at it and see. There's our power source. No, it shows the camera with the real power source. So that's a and then we have the camera on that building, which is there. And so we might have some real, data in these cameras that will provide some very unique details. This is a different pole. This is actually where the car backed up and was on fire there, I believe. But while we're there, it was there. I decided to get a shot of this, so I'm going to edit. And it looks pretty good, the base. Of course, the Dunkin' Donuts is to your right. Here is our incident here. So this is our path. One of them. All right, there's a spot in the street for the car on fire. Dunkin' Donuts across the street. Dunkin' Donuts has what I need for my location of my shroud. But don't let me fool you. All right, so there's a sign. It's pretty impacted. I don't think that's heat deflection. I think that presents as impacted, not warping from heat. Let me get you more. So this is what I went over in the previous video. The first one with you guys. So remember the bullet thing I showed you. So here's your bullet. Here's remember the pressure cone that's in there, and it's going to cause that pressure cone's going to it displaces the soil that's in there and allows it has no choice but to buckle the concrete. I believe this is where we cut through. Now, it could be the tail, and then the wing could be below. It could be both, and it could be inverted. Keep in mind where the location of the part with the emergency door on it, the fuselage area. So here's our lettering. There's our lettering, and our crash is down here. So now we have what appears to be the left engine over here, which means it didn't invert. If it did invert, you'd still get this section. Let me read the lettering backwards. We would just have to know this is the back of the engine part, and this is the intake part if it inverted. But if it's the other side, this would be the intake, and this would be the exhaust. But on the other side, this would be the exhaust, rather. Intake, and that would be the exhaust, depending on which side this is on. Then we would know which side of the plane more than likely ejected the material over here. So I just opened this up for you. Found a video for there's the lettering. So just so you can capture yourself, the screenshots 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my sources. Some of the sources. Well, I'm showing it to you because I'm gonna delete it from the history. I clean up my history a lot. It's just not worth it. There's some more junk down there. It doesn't mean I looked at it all. Sometimes I mean just gleaned at it. Well, so it did not have a flight data recorder. Remember, this coming out of Mexico, and Mexico, if you haven't been there, you don't know the culture. They really don't. They do shit bare minimum. All right, so there's your jet. There's your screenshots right there if you want to capture the jet. AXUCI, AXXA, UCI. So I'll give a shout out to this guy. Like, I try not to forget the shout outs, but so there's the name of the channel. Oh, the channel's down here, and name of the title if you want to find it. Why is this important? I was trying to find this, and then this came up under my search engine. It came up with, hey, this guy does a graph. I wanted to see the elevation that's from the takeoff. That it was at the point it's no longer having at the main climbing because they weren't going to travel at their flight all the way home. This is when we know they had problems right there. So there's your problem part, and this was under control and under control until it wasn't. It did have some flight pattern. It seemed like it might have been some form of control. Now, someone said something about when I said something about, look, heart attack, pilot. Well, I think they have two pilots there, and they're at that point they were still climbing and taking off. They would have been buckled in, 5-point harness across the shoulder and all. Not just a strap, not across the belt waist. But that said, it is Mexico. I don't know, but if it was across the shoulder, they would have stayed They would have stayed inside, restrained, and it'd just be a matter of getting the other the heart attack pilot, if you will, off the controls, and then off whatever hands he or she may have on the controls, and the other pilot takes over. So I don't think it was one pilot leaning on the controls. All right, based on that, it would be seat belted in at that point. Still, it was 1 minute after takeoff, right? So the here they were kicking butt though, man. They were just rolling in fast with that, and I don't know that jet. I wish we could find somebody that has that jet and says, you know what, frankly that might have been speed racer time there. They could have, 1 minute out and they were here. Maybe they were racing that engine up too fast. Something specific with that engine, with that year and everything else. Keep in mind, they just crashed one of these at an airport in Mexico the year before during landing. So I think it's a maintenance issue, and parts, replacing them. It's higher dollars. I don't think it's at this point. I don't think it's a pilot issue. We will not know because there's just junk. There's nothing left, and it's only wait a minute. What did I say it had? It didn't have a flight data recorder. It just did audio, I think. It was one of them it's lacking. I'd have to look at the damn video that I just made. I just deleted the history too. So if you want to look at the profile, here it is. So for here, it didn't just go fall out of the sky like a rock. It has a descent. And then so it has some ability to have some type of control. But then I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button. And then it was lost control and then crashed. So, could he not turn around? What's going on here? But it doesn't look like as at the end we see it just dive, right? But here is approximately where the shit hit the fan because it's losing elevation. But it's not just shutting off. It's not just diving. And witnesses state that they heard the engine pretty much spinning up. So it wasn't like it was a dead engine, and they were gliding at that point, and then they lost lift, and then the damn thing, flipped over and dove to the ground without engine power. We hear that it's got engine power, so then you're going to be looking for other failures, multitude of failures that could happen that could cause that, but. Some people said it's the ailerons weren't controllable. But here we go. We also need to see, that's the side view. This guy does not show whether it does this from the top. Does it drift? Does it go like that? He doesn't show it. You're looking at this. Does it do this? So here, so let's do that radius again. I'm going to change colors to make it a little, because he's using red. So this is the flight path. And does it do that? So this area would correspond to here. So he pulled left. That'd help you figure out that he lost control, so keep the plane straight, and something to do with left, right? Something with controlling, steadying the plane straight ahead. Also, though, is there something in the background, even though it's nighttime, that he sees as a possible landing strip, aka a street. You know, that he's got an emergency panic shit area. And does he see this as a possible landing zone? Yeah, they do use the highway sometimes. It happens to be close. It's a lot of highways there that run that direction, so you could extrapolate that shit and be totally wrong. Because remember, he's dead. They're dead now. But here is where we're looking at, is that when it went south, and it was significant. Again, it didn't just go dive. All right, it was able to do this. So I think I need to find it though. The path. You guys can link me to it somewhere. That'd be awesome. The path. If it pulls to the left, we can start trying to figure out, and we can start figuring out which way to go. Now, my resources on this will be, on this one, I do know a few pilots that do pilot something a little bigger than this, and just about the same size, but nobody's piloting this one specifically that I've run into. There was one in the news that the guy said he's an ex-pilot, 60-something years old now, so he's no longer flying, 40-plus years, and he theorized that it was a control malfunction. But they didn't go into this, you know, its path. Did it go that way, right, and crash? Did it continue straight and then lose it and crash? That all matters. That's going to tell us what's happening at the point that it turns and dives, though, like that. I don't know if it, you know, you can come up with a partial failure that's barely got you having control, and then full loss of control, and now you can't control the lift. You got lift. Now he does have two engines. Ironically, there has been planes that landed that had to use engine powered thrust up down to keep the plane circling left and right. There was a major one that many people died, but a shitload of people lived when the guy only could use left and right thrust in the engine to keep it to change direction, to land it. I forget which one that was. It's a true story. So you can come up with something crazy like that, and this person did it. Of course, we don't know their skill set or how long they've been in this jet particularly, because Mexico's just like saying, "The hell with you, FAA." You know, we're not trying to bury ourselves, and we don't answer to you right now because I guess we're not coming back to the United States. So you can only stop us from coming to the United States, and I guess we won't take any more trips from there. I don't know. All right, take care, guys. Sorry about that cough again. That damn thing's still not cleared from me yet. So wish you the best there. Wish you the best. Let me see if I didn't finish watching this video. Let me see if it snakes. Let me pause it. That was interesting. I think they were somebody found the oxygen bottle, right? But one of them was left on the... Wow, let me turn that up. I was only looking for the flight platform. When he jumped from it, I stopped watching.
Main wreckage location. Northeast Philadelphia Airport is a public airport located about 10 miles...
Let me pause it. So yeah, there's the aircraft again. So he actually has some good, beautiful... his channel looks like it's put this together pretty well. I'll give you a shout out for him again. Let's go to his... there it is. Aircraft info. Philadelphia Learjet 55 crash. Let's let this play.
The airplane began deviating to the left as it was still climbing.
So he's saying deviating to the left. I don't know if it was deviating or not. It makes it sound like that wasn't his course. It could have been going to the left anyway. Remember the bias, you got to be careful of your bias. So that could have been his course anyway, but he says still climbing, deviating to the left. Let's go from there.
About 9 seconds later, at 18:06 and 56 seconds, the airplane reached a maximum altitude of 1,650 feet before it began to descend to the left.
So descent to the left, it was already, so it sounds like pulling to 650 feet. So descent and pull to the left. Let's see.
The descent began at 18:06 and 57 seconds and concluded with
1806 and 57 seconds.
The end of the track at 18:07 and 4 seconds. The data suggests the airplane was in the descent for roughly 7 to 8 seconds before it impacted terrain.
Yeah, so you can see that's a significant amount of flight time. It didn't just rotate down, corkscrew down, and just drop to the ground, drive to the ground. It was significant. And more importantly, what was the last elevation before it did the total loss control? So you can try to figure out, they were doing their best to keep the damn plane in the air, but it just kept rotating, going down. Now, we don't know it would be inverted twice, 3 times. It was spinning like a dart, or was it just coming down flat and the last minute rotated? As we see it, it appears to rotate. What if the son bitch rotated 3-4 times already? I showed that in the previous video with the lighting on it, how it looks like it's on its side, using the lighting only, and it's biased because we don't have a clearer picture. Now, across the street might have it. Those 2 cameras across the street, including cameras in the development, the stores, might have something shooting outside for security reasons. I'm going to end this video. Take care. Love you guys. Thanks for the support. And I might get up there tomorrow, Saturday. I might get up there Sunday or next week, depending on, I got to take some equipment up there to check the angle. And I don't know. Don't want to waste my time going twice, because I do have to take off work to do that. I don't want to waste my time going twice, so I might wait a week. Depends on how I feel. If I'm motivated to go up there and do round 2 on it, I will. But I want to get that angle to that sign. I want to see that. And I could start guesstimating it using software that I have, and maybe I will do that. Take care, and bye.